Greetings to all Africans at home and across the global African family. Today is Sunday, January 4th, 2026. My name is Akosua Prempe, and I am broadcasting from United States of Africa, a platform dedicated to African unity, sovereignty, truth, and the defense of our collective future. In today's broadcast, we bring you a serious and sensitive report from Burkina Faso, one that reveals not only an attempted attack on a nation's leadership, but also the evolving nature of modern coups in Africa. Coups that are no longer announced with tanks on the streets, but quietly planned through covert communication, foreign coordination, and proxy networks. According to credible intelligence sources, a coup attempt was being carefully planned against the current authorities of Burkina Faso. This plot never reached the execution stage, not because it failed on its own, but because it was detected early and dismantled completely by the country's military and intelligence services before a single shot was fired. The plan reportedly involved multiple layers of coordination. Individuals operating inside Burkina Faso were allegedly working in connection with external actors based outside the country. Communications were ongoing, strategies were being adjusted, and targets were being discussed. Among the objectives reportedly identified was strategic military infrastructure, including a drone command and control center, as well as key figures within the national leadership. What the plotters did not realize was that every stage of their communication was already under surveillance. Burkina Faso's intelligence services had intercepted messages, monitored movements, and mapped out the network long before the plot could advance. In fact, it is widely believed that the country's leadership was aware of the threat days in advance, allowing security forces to act calmly, methodically, and without panic. At approximately 11 p.m., arrests were carried out across different locations. There was no gunfire, no confrontation, and no public disturbance. Suspects were taken into custody peacefully. During questioning, evidence retrieved from their own devices confirmed the existence of the plan, exposing communication trails, coordination efforts, and intended targets. By the time the public learned of the attempted coup, it had already been neutralized. Reports further allege that the operation had external backing, involving actors who continue to view Africa through a colonial lens, believing that African nations can still be destabilized when their political direction no longer serves foreign interests. The name of a former Burkinabe leader, now reportedly operating from outside the country, has been linked to the coordination of this plot, alongside connections to terrorist-linked networks that have recently failed to penetrate Burkina Faso due to effective preemptive military action. As news of the foiled coup spread, citizens responded not with fear, but with mobilization and confidence. In cities such as Bobo-Dioulasso, hundreds gathered late into the night at public squares, declaring their unwavering support for the current leadership and their refusal to return to an era of manipulation, instability, and suffering. For many, this moment symbolized not just the failure of a coup, but the strength of a people determined to defend their sovereignty. This report is not only about Burkina Faso. It raises broader questions about regional security, foreign interference, and the growing resistance of African populations against externally driven destabilization. It also highlights a shift taking place across the continent, where intelligence, popular support, and political awareness are increasingly aligned. Before the full report begins, we invite you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it widely, and leave your comments. Your engagement helps connect Africans across borders, counters misinformation, and strengthens the collective African voice.
For Captain Ibrahim Traore, no hour is too late to sound the call for mobilization, not even at 11 p.m. And this is a massive mobilization of the Bobolese population on the night of January 3rd into the early morning of the 4th at Tiefo Amoro Square. Under the leadership of the Hoet Citizens Watch, the protesters are conveying a message. No destabilization of their emblematic leader's power is possible.
Tonight, January 3rd, 2024, we learn with great sadness and with great bitterness that the enemies of the nation have once again attempted to undermine the triumphant march of the Burkina Faso people towards their total sovereignty. And we have come out to remind all those who are power-hungry and think they can drag us back into deceit, who think they can drag us back into the suffering we are leaving behind, let them know that the people of Burkina Faso have said no. We do not agree, and we condemn with every last bit of our energy any attempt to destabilize the power of the people, which is that of the MPSR-2, under the enlightened leadership of Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traore.
The saboteurs have organized themselves once again, regrouping after their several failed attempts in the past. Despite these previous failures, they have once more found the determination and courage to come together and orchestrate another coup d'etat. Their plan, which was intended to seize power and overthrow the current leadership, was ultimately discovered and valiantly foiled by a group of highly capable and vigilant men, whose swift and decisive actions ensured the coup did not succeed. Because when Captain Ibrahim Traore came to power, we told the entire world that he has surrounded himself with capable men to save Burkina Faso. Those men have sworn an oath with the people of Burkina Faso that Captain Ibrahim Traore is the apple of our eye. Today, the coup d'etat has been successfully thwarted.
Have come out in massive numbers. In Bobo Dioulasso, we are currently precisely at the square. For the Citizens Watch, the actions of the MPSR-2 are tangible. Burkina Faso has embarked on a good dynamic of development, and we must stay the course against all odds.
I don't know how anyone can be against this man, who has given his all for this nation. You just have to look at the development that's been underway for the last 2-3 years. So we, the youth of Burkina Faso, we tell them to go to hell.
We have just made a call to our youth, a conscious youth, a committed and determined youth, a youth that says no, and no one will be able to stop our revolution, the popular process that is currently underway with tangible results, visible on the ground, and we say no and no.
The Citizens Watch vows to continue playing its role to block the path of all those who are after Captain Ibrahim Traore's power. According to them, it is clear that the popular progressive revolution initiated in Burkina Faso is unsettling to some, for more than one reason. But the vision put forward by the MPSR-2 is a sure path for the people of Burkina Faso to fully assert their sovereignty.
Before I leave you with today's questions, remember this. One voice may be silenced, but united African voices cannot be ignored.